Parental discretion advised.
Everyone, welcome back to What a Story. Today's guest is, I'm probably going to screw up the name, so bear with me, Lala Kellems.
Lala
Oh,
Kellems. Yes, you got it.
thank you. All right. So, Lala, what's new?
You know, working. I work for a veterinary lab currently, and I am running all over Southern California. So I get off work and I just road dog as much as I can, come back, sleep, do it all over again. Yes.
Yeah. Um,
Sometimes the road dogging is you're stuck in traffic for 2.5 hours and you go 10 miles.
yes, I've been to LA. Yes, I know. So how long you been doing comedy?
I actually just celebrated my 3-year anniversary in June, and I just fell in love with it, and here I am. I never really expected this was going to be my life.
Okay. And what got you into comedy?
Well, a little bit of life changes. I went through a divorce, and as you do after a divorce, you lay in bed for a while and you second guess your whole life. So I did that, and I kind of came to this realization that I am never going to get these days back again, and I need to go out and do something that I'm going to be proud of. So when my life does come to an end, I don't feel like I wasted my time. So I had been writing a bunch of different things from my life, more morbid than happy, and I decided, hey, let's put a spin on this. Let's see if I can do this comedy thing. And I grew up in a really funny household, so it really wasn't that difficult to make that switch. And after I got on stage a couple times, I was hooked.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So, what is the most weirdest? Have you had any incidents like that were weird in comedy so far? A
Ooh.
heckler, uh, weird road gig.
Yeah, actually. I did a road gig. I would say I was maybe 18 months into comedy. I still am a novice, but at that time I didn't know what anything was. So I had this event that came to me and they said, "Hey, we want you to do like 10 minutes." At 18 months, 10 minutes felt like 3 hours. So I get there and I am set up right in the center of a swap meet, and everyone around me is trying to barter to buy like welding supplies and shirts, and I'm there like, hey, anyone else's dad didn't love them? It was the weirdest experience that you could possibly have, and I feel like it made me a little bit better. I was able to kind of roll with it.
That's cool. And
Yeah.
so, Lala, what's your story?
Ooh, okay. So as everyone else did during COVID, I had a lot of stuff going on, and I ended up losing my job, and I was scrambling for another one. So I've always worked in the medical field, and I ended up getting a job working at a COVID laboratory. So I was a part of people getting tested to make sure they could go to events or whatever it might be. And I thought I hit the jackpot because for some reason the rate of pay seemed a little too astronomical to be normal. And that should have been my first clue. I got the job there, and the managers, they, for some reason, just did not like me. And I don't know what the situation was, but I went in every day expecting for it to be my last. So I finally came to this conclusion, hey, I'm going to go to the boss who I've never met. He was the like elusive back guy, and I decided I'm going to go and tell him exactly what I think about this whole thing, and maybe I can save my ass. So I walk into this room, and there's this giant man, a daddy long leg in a person, 90% leg, 20% face. And I sat there and I told him, "Hey, I don't think your management is doing things correctly. I've worked in laboratory fields before. This is where I think the hangups are. This is where I think things are going. And I know that you have my termination paper waiting for you, but I just have to tell you." And immediately he looked at me and he said, "Okay, I'm going to give you a $10 raise, and I'm going to put you in your own department, and I'm going to make sure that everything is fine." And again, I was like, oh my gosh, everyone else is having the suckiest COVID experience, and I am winning life. Like Oprah came and said, you get a COVID shot, and you get a COVID shot, and Lala Kellems gets the world. So I was so happy. Little did I know that I wasn't working at a COVID lab. I was working at a daycare facility for this man. And it was the equivalent of working at The Office, the US TV show The Office, and this was my Michael Scott. Everything he did was insane. He always rolled around with this massive whiteboard that he would pull behind him, and he would just come up to people's desk and start writing stuff on it, brainstorming different ideas. And we'd have to tell him, Mike, it's not the time. Like you gotta get it together. He would go to people and say the weirdest things like, you look like you don't celebrate Christmas. And you're like, HR, I don't know what's happening here. But what ended up happening at the end of everything is COVID kind of came to an end. So majority of the people got laid off, and there was about 5 of us left. I had by the skin of my teeth held on to this job. And it was wild. It was a wild experience working with him. But one of the last meetings we had was in regards to somebody who was previously terminated because there was no more jobs. And I had to tell him that this person felt like they got fucked over by him. My boss has selective hearing. When I said that during this meeting, he yells out, I've never fucked anyone. If you could tell me somebody that I've fucked, I want to know who it is and how I fucked him. And he's standing up above all of us like the big old daddy long leg he is. And we couldn't help but laugh because we had been through the most strife with this man, and he just made it into this crazy. Maybe he's talking about his sexual experiences, maybe he's talking about work experiences. We had come to a place where we didn't know how to handle this guy anymore. And then 3 days later, he closed the company, I think from embarrassment.
That is an experience. All right. So, Lala, if anybody wants to find you on the internet, what are your social medias?
I am on Instagram at Lala Kellems, LalaKellems. I'm starting a YouTube channel. You can find me at the same name. Right now, you're not going to see anything. I'm not on TikTok. Maybe soon. You could find me in the Penny Saver, maybe looking for another lab job. But as of right now, Instagram.
All right. Well, thank you for your story and enjoy the sunny California. And I will see you around.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Hopefully I talk to you soon.
No problem.
I think one of my issues, my therapist agrees, is that maybe I'm a little bit toxic. Ladies, anyone else? Any other toxic hosts out there? Oh, guy in the hat. Give it up for toxic guy. Yeah. But I think I'm like the mild version of toxic, you know? Like, I'm not the toxic that's going to slash your tires, but I'm definitely the toxic that's going to start a fight with you on your birthday. That's me.